A while back, we covered one of the animations from this old site of the day, but while I was recently revisiting it, I noticed this really cool hover effect on one of its text sections. You've got this big bold headline, and tucked between some of the words are these little square dots. When you hover one, it smoothly expands out into an image, and as you move your cursor around, the image drifts toward it and leans in 3D, tilting so the corner nearest your cursor comes forward, like a little card reacting to your hand. It's a really nice way to take a plain, boring text section and make it feel alive and interactive. Following that idea, I put together my own version, recreating the same effect with GSAP and a surprisingly small amount of code. In this video, I'll walk you through the whole thing, showing you how to build a hover effect like this yourself, from the block that expands into a card, to the smooth cursor follow, to the 3D tilt. So without wasting any time, let's get into the code. The HTML and CSS here are pretty light, and since the JavaScript is where all the movement happens, I'll move through this part fast, just enough that you can copy it and follow along. For the HTML, we've got a single spotlight section with one big headline inside it. The headline is split into lines, and most lines are just plain words, but a few of them have a spot tucked between two words, and that spot is what we hover. Inside each spot sits a spot card, and inside that, the image. So the image is already in the markup, it's just hidden and shrunk down to a tiny dot for now. For the CSS, we start with a font import and the usual resets, then some type styling on the headline, big, bold, condensed, uppercase, nothing surprising there. This spot is the small dot sitting in the text, and the important bit is the perspective on it, which is what gives its card real depth once we tilt it in 3D later. The spot card is the piece that actually animates. It starts tiny, the same size as the dot, and it's set to absolute and centered, so when it grows into a full image later, it expands outward from the middle without pushing the words around it apart. And the image inside is scaled up a little and starts fully transparent, so all the JavaScript has to do is fade it in and let the card grow around it, and that's really all that matters in the CSS. Now let's get straight into the JavaScript. First of all, let's bring in the tool we're using. We import GSAP, and that's all we need for this effect. No plugins this time. Now before we touch any element, let's set up a few values that control how everything feels. Desktop min, 1000, is the width we treat as desktop. Since this hover only makes sense with a mouse, we'll switch it off on smaller screens. Tilt max, 25, is the strongest angle the card can lean in 3D. Drift max, also 25, is how far in pixels it can slide toward the cursor. And smoothing, 0.075, controls how gently everything eases. The lower the number, the floatier the motion. Next, the two states the card lives in. Card open is its full-grown size, the image we see on hover, and card dot is the tiny square resting in the text. Keeping both as objects lets us just hand one to GSAP and animate straight to it. And card centered is the resting transform, everything at 0, with x and y% at -50, which pull the card back by half its own size, so it always stays centered on its dot, no matter how big it grows. Last bit of setup, a tiny helper, is desktop checks whether the window is at least that width, so we can quietly keep the effect off on smaller screens. Now we wire things up. We grab every spot and loop over each one, so every dot gets its own behavior, and everything from here lives inside that loop. For each spot, we grab the two pieces we'll animate, the card and the image, then the values this spot tracks, and here's the idea that makes it smooth. We keep two sets of numbers. Current is where the card is right now, aim is where the cursor wants it, each with a position and a 3D tilt. We never snap current to aim, we always ease it there. We also add two flags, is hovering, and frame, which holds our loop so we can start and stop it. So let's write that loop. Start tracking is the heart of the smoothness. Inside it, the frame function runs every animation frame while hovering, and each time, it nudges current closer to aim. Take this line, current x plus equals aim x minus current x times smoothing. That gap, aim minus current, is the distance left to travel, and we only move a small fraction of it each frame, so it glides and eases to a stop instead of jumping. Same for the y and both tilts. Then we apply those eased numbers, setting the card's position and rotation. And notice the last line, we move the image the opposite way, so as the card drifts toward the cursor, the image slides back by the same amount and stays sitting still inside the frame. Finally, we hand this to GSAP sticker. It's built-in loop that fires around 60 times a second, and that's what keeps the easing running. And whatever we start, we stop. Stop tracking just removes our frame from the ticker and clears it, which we'll call the moment the cursor leaves. Now we can bring it to life with the actual hover. First up, expand card, which fires when the cursor enters a spot. Right away we check his desktop and bail out early if we're on a small screen, so nothing happens on touch. Then we flag his hovering as true and reset both current and aim back to 0, so every hover starts clean, from center, with no leftover drift or tilt from last time. We also snap the card to its centered resting state and the image back to 0, then call start tracking to kick off that easing loop we just wrote. With all that primed, we animate. We tell GSAP to grow the card to its open size over about 3/4 of a second and separately fade the image in. And notice overwrite auto on both. That tells GSAP that if a new tween starts on the same thing, it should cancel the old one. So a quick hover in and out never leaves two animations fighting each other. Then we hook expand card up to the mouse center event. Next, the part that makes it feel alive, aim at cursor, which runs on every mouse move over the spot. Remember, this doesn't move anything directly, it only updates aim, and the easing loop quietly chases it. First we measure the spot's box on screen and work out its center point. Then we take the cursor's position minus that center, which gives us how far the cursor is from the middle on each axis. For the drift, we don't want the card sliding forever, so we measure the straight line distance from center using hypot. That's just the Pythagorean thing, the diagonal length from the two sides. If that distance is past our drift max, we scale both offsets down so the card leans in only up to that limit and no further. Those become aim x and aim y. Then the tilt. We take the cursor's offset again, but this time as a ratio, dividing by half the card's width and height. So dead center is 0 and out at the edge is 1. Giving us a clean -1 to 1 range for how far the cursor is across the card. We clamp it so it can't go past that range, then multiply by tilt max to turn it into an angle. And notice the axis crossover here. The horizontal position drives tilt on the y-axis, and the vertical drives the x, because to lean something left and right, you actually rotate it around its vertical axis. The signs are set so the corner nearest the cursor comes forward. Then we wire this to the mouse move event. Finally shrink card when the cursor leaves. We flip his hovering off, set the tilt targets back to 0, and stop the tracking loop since there's nothing to chase anymore. Then we animate the card back down to its little dot, resetting position and rotation as it goes. There's one careful touch in the on complete. Once the card finishes shrinking, we first check his hovering and bail if it's true, because the cursor might have come back mid-shrink and we don't want to stomp on that. Otherwise, we clear out the inline width, height, and radius so the CSS takes over cleanly again and reset the card and image to center. And alongside all that, we fade the image out. Last thing, we connect shrink card to the mouse leave event. And that's the whole thing, a headline that hides little images between its words, each one blooming open and leaning toward your cursor in 3D. If you'd like to grab the source code, it's available through the Pro membership linked below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.